Hello, my name is David Gross, and I'd like to take a few minutes and talk about sublimation paper and helping you choose the best paper for your sublimation project. Essentially, when you're looking for the sublimation paper for you, you want to choose it based on two things. One is which paper is right for your printer, and then which paper is right for the substrate. Our instructions will call out what we recommend for the paper, but it is dependent on your printer. We offer 4 papers, and so it comes down to which printer and which substrate you want to use. First paper I'd like to explain is what's called our Trans SPP. This paper is a general purpose paper. It's been around a long time. It's what I refer to as a bulletproof sublimation paper. It produces incredibly high quality, high details, minimal dot gain. And it's the Trans SPP. S is in Sam, P is in Paul, P is in Paul. It goes by, in the industry, goes by many different names. Some of the names are True Picks, and you'll see all sorts of names. But it's a bright white paper. It's about a 32-pound paper, so it's a little heavy, and that's good. We print onto the bright white side of the paper. After you print, probably has a useful life after it prints before you transfer of, say, 72 hours, so you do want to print and transfer. I recommend taking all the papers, no matter which one, putting them in airtight containers to keep moisture from getting to them, and that just makes the paper perform better. So the Trans paper, SPP paper, is a great paper regardless of what printer and pretty much regardless of which substrate. With the exception of glass, I do recommend another paper for glass, which we'll get to. Okay. Next is the papers from a company called Beaver called TexPrint. There are 2 papers with TexPrint. The original paper is called the TexPrint XP paper. This is a great paper also for general purpose. It's what we call a high release paper, meaning more of the ink comes out of the paper when you hit it with heat. And so this paper is a useful paper for soft substrate, so it gives us a little bit better release, a little bit more color saturation. On the back of the paper is a logo, so it's really easy to tell which side of the paper to print on. So this is a good general purpose paper as well, especially for textiles and soft substrates. Certainly the paper favored for glass. Now this paper is for Epson printers. It is not for Ricoh printers. We're going to get to the Ricoh version of this paper in just a second. On hard substrates like the Unisub, I tend to favor the Trans SPP. Gives us a little bit sharper dot. This one has a little bit more dot gain, but for many projects, if I had to pick one paper, this certainly would be a good general purpose paper. I tend to recommend that people have both the proper version of TexPrint and the Trans SPP on hand, because I find having those 2 papers arms you for just about any substrate. The next TexPrint paper is brand new, and it's the TexPrint R paper, and this paper, the R stands for Ricoh. The reason we asked for this paper to be developed is that the Ricohs print very fast, and if you put a lot of ink on the paper, which we tend to do, the ink does not dry fast enough by the time it hits the exit rollers on these printers. And if the ink is still wet on the paper, it's going to roll through the exit wheels on these printers, and you'll see roll marks going through your design, and you tend to see ink on the next piece of paper where it shouldn't be. So the R paper was developed with faster drying characteristics. So for the Ricoh printers, this is what we recommend, the TexPrint R. This paper does not, at this point, have a logo on the back. So with this paper, you'd print on the bright white side, which for the Ricohs, if you use the built-in trays, that means you'll put the paper with the print side face down. So great paper, general purpose, certainly recommend it, especially when you go to textiles, soft substrates, and for glass. Third different paper is the jet Kool paper. The jet Kool paper is made by a company in the Netherlands called Kool. This is for Epson printers only, and it should be used with caution. This is the paper that we use on the very large printers for all the fancy textile designs like the soccer apparel, cycling apparel, all the really fancy sublimation on fabrics. This paper is very special in that it dries very slowly because the ink does not wick into the paper. When we do heat it, more of the ink comes off the paper, giving you a very high saturation. So this would be a maximum release paper. The reason it should be used with caution is when it comes out of your printer, it's wet. So this paper is only for Epson printers and only for certain Epson printers like the 4000 series, the 7800, 9800 series. So if you have any questions, call us. We can help you with this. But again, this paper would be something you'd use with caution. A project, for instance, that I would use it for with my Epson printer would be if I was doing a lady's purse. I'm trying to get maximum saturation, and this would be the paper I would use. Again, it needs to be used with caution. When it does come out of your Epson printer, you do want to take it over to your heat press, put it underneath your heat press, and don't close the heat press, but let the press dry the paper for, say, 20 to 30 seconds. The last little innovation we've come up with is we've taken our Trans SPP paper and we've cut it into two sizes for 11-ounce mugs and 15-ounce mugs. This is the same Trans paper we talked about earlier, which again I favor for hard substrates like ceramics, like Unisub. The papers being pre-cut make it very handy for you to print your design, put it on a mug with minimal labor and minimal errors. So these are just incredible papers. I use them in the Ricos and any of the built-in trays. These printers also come with a bypass tray so that you could load it in. So with these papers, bright white side is face down in the tray, and if you use them in the bypass trays, it's going to be face up in the back. So I hope this has been helpful in selecting the right paper for you. If you have any feedback at all on our videos or anything I can help you with, my email address is dgross, which is D as in David, G-R-O, S as in Sam, S as in Sam, @conde.com. Thank you for watching.